Hi everyone, it's Tottocharizze, back again with another bullet journaling video, and today we are setting up for the month of May. So grab your bullet journals and plan with me. Last week, I asked a question on my Instagram story on what other hobbies do you like aside from art or journaling, along with a video of me playing my guitar. And guess what? That is my theme for May, which I would consider as a hint for you for my upcoming monthly setup. From the start of the year until April, I've been into paints like watercolor and acrylic, but for May, I feel like using brush pens, so those are what I'll be using this month. And as always, if you're wanting the exact tools I'm using today, all the supplies are linked on the video description. I grabbed a combination of my Sakura Koi brush pens with a Tombow and Crayola Super Tip. I started coloring the outline of the sound hole and the bridge with my brown Crayola Super Tip. I added another color on the hole using the Sakura Koi in Naples yellow color and filled it in with light gray. For the head and neck, I'm using my Tombow brush pen in number 942. I already sketched out everything, and as much as I wanted to show you my process for that, this video is gonna get longer, so I skipped that part on this video. And I've said this before that it's totally fine to use pencil first on any drawing or illustration that you want to add on your spread. Now for the body of the guitar, I'm using the Sakura Koi in red. I chose this color because my first guitar is red back when I was 13 years old, and it is my favorite musical instrument to play. And the first song I learned is called It's Not Over by Secondhand Serenade. My fellow 90s kids, say hi in the comments. I know you are familiar with this band, or whatever generation you are, let me know if you listen to them as well. Then I'm drawing the tuning pegs or the tuners with my Sakura Pigma Micron. For the frets and strings, I'm using my Uniball Signo white gel pen. These details, it's better to use smaller pen nib size. And with the same pen, I'm making the body three-dimensional by following the shape of it. Using the fine tip of my Tombow dual brush pen, I am drawing tiny musical notes around the guitar. I like to add some gold details on my spreads with my gold gel pen, and on this cover page I'm creating ornamental borders, and these ornamental patterns are what I can imagine the sound to look like whenever I pluck or strum the strings. I'm always used to writing the monthly title on the right side of the page. If you have seen my previous setups, I initially wrote it on the right side though, but then I decided to do it differently by writing it on the left. The style is a hollowed, italicized, lowercase font, and filled it in with my yellow brush pen. Finally, for this page is a quote, and I'm writing it in a way a song with guitar chords is written. The quote I chose is, "Music can name the unnameable and communicate the unknowable," by Leonard Bernstein. And we are done with the cover page. Now let's move on to the monthly calendar. I'll be switching back to a one-page calendar for May and tried out a different title. Then I drew a grid with 4x4 dot spacing for each boxes. I'm writing the day's initials in gold, and for the dates are written on these brown shaded boxes. If there's a spread I make a lot of mistakes, it's definitely the calendar. I wanted the backgrounds to be exactly 31, but I realized I already exceeded, so I just went for it and did the first 5 as well. I wrote the numbers with my micron fine liner, then I drop shadow with light gray brush pen. On the right side is dedicated for my monthly goals. Then I'm cutting the page in half to make it a Dutch door. I usually use Dutch doors for my weeklies, but I think it will also work for other spreads depending on the layout. I'm creating another guitar illustration and it's an electric one. I colored the body and head with my Tombow brush pen in cappuccino shade, Sakura Koi Sienna for the pick guard, and the brown Crayola super tip for the neck. Then I'm adding more details with my micron fine liner and white gel pen. Electric guitars are mostly used with amplifiers using a cable, and I thought it would be fun to write May with it. And the final element for the illustration are the ornamental patterns that sprang up from the guitar's body along with musical notes. The space left will be dedicated for my content planner. Since I'm planning for my Instagram and YouTube content, I allocated 2 separate sections for them. The titles are written in white gel pen on this red background. Then I completed it with the days and dates vertically. Next up are my habit and mood trackers. But first, let's draw this acoustic guitar on a stand. I started coloring the smaller or thinner details on the body first with the same Tombow brush pen and the rest with Sakura Koi and raw umber together with the head. I went back to layer the bridge with brown instead and then the neck. I kinda like this color for a guitar, but there aren't many of them. After the frets and strings with white gel pen is the stand using a fine liner. Above the guitar, I just wrote another quote that says, "Find freedom in music." Now for the habits, I'm tracking them in the style of a guitar chord chart or diagrams. I'm tracking my usual habits like water intake, vitamins, healthy eating, walking, creative, and social habits. Before I write the titles, I proceeded with the mood tracker first. I drew 3 horizontal lines and numbered each with a space in between. My moods will be represented by different guitar heads illustrated on the far right of the page. The square headstock will be my happy mood, the pointy headstock is neutral, and the round headstock is my sad mood. Afterwards, I drew a wavy musical staff that will be the background of the titles. I'm using my Stabilo Red fine liner for them, and finally with brown Crayola Super Tip are musical notes just around the titles as well. And we are done with the habit and mood trackers. Moving on to the next, a guitar illustration on the heather using the Sakura Koi in Sienna for the color. If I'd have another guitar, it would be this color, and just because I also like earthy and woody colors, I'd love to know in the comments if you also play or learning to play a guitar or any musical instrument. Final touch for this illustration has to be the gold ornamental patterns towards the right side of the page. On the left is going to be my playlist. Since it's a music-related theme, I thought it would be nice to create a spread for it. I wrote the title just below the neck of the guitar. I drew 8 rectangular boxes with 12 by 5 dot spacing using the red fine liner. Then I filled each one with the yellow brush pen. I wanted to add photos of the songs I picked for this month, so I gathered them all and printed them all at once using the portable and inkless Paperang printer. Don't forget to use my affiliate code CHARIZZE10 to save 10% on Paperang, which I also linked on the description box. If you want to know more about this printer, I talked about the basics, how to use it, and more information on my previous video. After sticking the photos, I wrote the title of the song and the singer accordingly. Let me know in the comments what genres of music you usually listen to, or do you choose a genre depending on the season or month? I would love to know that as well. On the other side of the page is my package tracker. I've been using this many times in the past, and I'm definitely including it again on the next setups. This tracker only requires the description or the items, from where it is coming from, and the date it was shipped. The final spread I will be doing is my first weekly spread. I'm creating a Dutch door wherein illustrations of unique guitars are showcased on the front each week. I drew a semi-acoustic guitar that is for me a unique one. If you would love to see what my next weekly spread look like, I'm posting them on my bullet journaling Instagram, so give it a follow to see all my spreads. I wrote week 19 on the left with a mini calendar alongside. Each day of the week is represented by plectrums, or commonly called picks that are used to strum or pluck the guitar strings or any stringed instrument. I used all the colors used in the entire setup, and it's nice that they are coincidentally 7 in total. And I used white gel pen to write the days and dates for the darker colors and the Pigma Micron for the lighter ones. To separate each day's tasks, I created a frame with dots and ornamental patterns on the corners using a gold gel pen. To complete the weekly spread, I made a column of weekly events on the other side of the Dutch door using the same color palette for each day. And finally, we are all done with the setup. Now let's get to the flip through. I am very satisfied on how this setup turned out. To be honest, I was skeptical at first whether I'll be able to pull this off or not. But I'm so happy I tried. I don't know, but it looked pretty neat and spacious for me this time. What do you think of the setup? I'd love to know your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like this video, and if you'd love to watch more of my Plan With Me videos, please consider subscribing. Hit the notification bell so you'll know whenever I upload a new video. That is all for today, and I will see you on my next one. Bye!